How you doing today? My name's Dave Whipple and welcome back to the channel. In case you're new here, I run a channel called Bush Radical. It has about 1.1 million subscribers. So if you see the sub count on this channel and you're like, why should I take advice from this guy? Well, that's the reason. I've been at YouTube for about 8 years now and have ran several different channels. All of them have been successful to some point. And my whole purpose here is to help new YouTubers, mostly normal working blue collar folks, succeed on YouTube and hopefully make that your life's work, your income, your occupation, as opposed to whatever it is that you're doing that you might not be happy with. So today I want to give you guys a very useful, practical, implementable idea that is going to improve what you do on YouTube today. It's going to make things better right now. And that is do less. Do less. Do fewer videos and put more effort into the videos you do produce. When I was a kid, I'm 49 years old. When I was a kid, you had things that came on television rarely. The Wizard of Oz is probably the best example. It came on once a year. If you wanted to watch The Wizard of Oz, you had to be sitting in front of the television set Sunday night at 8 o'clock when it came on, or you weren't going to see it. If you grew up in the 80s, you know this was a big deal. When The Wizard of Oz came on TV, man, everybody watched it. But it only came on one time a year. So it had an element of scarcity to it. It was the same thing with shows like Rudolph, the Christmas special, all the Peanut stuff, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and the Peanuts Christmas special, and the Grinch. Come on once a year, man, and you watch it or you don't. And if you miss it, you wait another year before you get a chance to see it again. And the scarcity of that drew massive, massive audiences. Now, scarcity in and of itself doesn't really do a whole lot. If those shows were terrible, who'd care? Who'd want to watch them? But they were all fun shows. And they were so limited in their availability. You know, today, I haven't seen The Wizard of Oz in 30 years probably. And the reason is I can get on Amazon anytime I want. And I can rent it for $3 or whatever. And I can watch it. I could probably buy it for $10. I could watch it every day for the rest of my life. Not that I'd want to. But all of those shows had two things in common. They were good and they were rare. Like when I was a kid, The Dukes of Hazzard was one of my favorite shows. And it was on, I think it was on Friday night at 8 o'clock. And you would be there to watch it when it came on if you wanted to see it. Or you'd miss it. And then there was no telling when you'd ever get to see the rerun for it and catch the episode that you missed out on. Fast forward to 2025, we're in this world where everything is available all the time to almost everybody. If you're watching this video, you have a computer, you've got a cell phone, a smartphone. You can watch anything you want, anytime you want. And as opposed to this amount of content that was available 40 years ago, there's an infinite amount of content. There's all the television shows that have ever been made. There's all the movies that have ever been made. There's all of the YouTube content, which is eclipsed everything. There's a billion pieces of YouTube content. So there is no supply issue for stuff to watch. So what does this have to do with YouTube? Well, if there's one thing you can do today to make your product better, your videos better, your channel better, your brand better, do less video content, make less, and make it better. More limited and higher quality. So if you're one of those channels that puts out 2 videos a week, switch to 1 video a week. If you put out a video every week, put out a video every other week. And if you're somebody who puts out a video 2 weeks, every 10 days, something like that, do 1 video a month. Focus on your subject. Make sure your subject is good and interesting. And it's not just, here I am on YouTube again. Because that's really, it's not going to do anybody any good. There has never been, to my knowledge, a YouTuber who has become super successful by quantity, just by pumping out content. You know, there is a misconception, it's been around forever, that the algorithm is like a beach ball, right? And you got to keep it up in the air. You got to keep it going. And if you get a good video, you think, well, now I have momentum. I have to put out something else to keep my momentum up. It's an absolute fallacy. Some of the most profitable and successful videos on my channel, Bush Radical, have came after I've been off the platform for 45 days. I put out a video a couple weeks back. It was building some shed doors. Not exactly a great concept, but there are good videos on the internet about building homemade doors. So I made it a very simple title, something like Heavy Duty Shed Doors Do It Yourself. It's not been a very successful video. It only has about 100,000 views. For a lot of people, they would think that's a winner. But for me, I'm looking for 500,000 views. I'm looking for 1 million views. I'm trying to cover subjects that are in my wheelhouse that have a broad appeal. So I put this video out. It's got about 100,000 views, but it had been 60 days since it had been 2 months since the last video I had put out on that channel. And that last video is getting close to 1 million views. And it was 60 days between that one and my next one. And it didn't hurt the shed door video, that big gap, that 60-day gap absence from YouTube. It didn't hurt the shed video. Not a great subject, but it's performing. It's got about 100,000 views, and it's evergreen. That video is not harmed by the fact that I sat on my butt for 2 months and didn't put anything out. Let's look at the opposite of this. Going back to the 80s television shows, what if the Dukes of Hazzard was on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon every day of the week, and then again at 9 o'clock, and then again at midnight? You could literally see it 21 times in a week's span. So as opposed to being in front of the television set Friday night at 8 o'clock, you'd be like, I don't even care anymore because I can watch it whenever I want. Nowadays with YouTube, there is that terrible idea that you have to always be omnipresent. You always have to be putting out content, always have to be in front of the camera, always have to be producing on a schedule every week, every 3 days, every 48 hours. There are channels out there that put a video out every single day. And my impression of that is, if you have that much content, what can you possibly have to say or share that's interesting? Nobody has 365 awesome videos in them where they can do that in a year's span and then do it again the next year and the next year. You know, in 3 or 4 years, you could have 1,000 videos. What are the odds that those 1,000 videos are going to be great videos? The odds are zero. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 that are good, but if you're putting out a video every day, it's got to be fast. It's got to be super easy to edit. You're going to run through your better ideas really quickly. And then you're just obligated to produce, and you're producing content that is being produced to keep the ball in the air, so to speak. You know, I have to be visible 24/7 so I can build my channel. That's the thought. Here I am. Nobody has ever became a successful YouTuber through the strategy of quantity. I don't think it's ever happened. The idea that you can just put out thousands of pieces of content, and because you're making progress, that is a fallacy. There's no way you can put a video out every day, filming it in the afternoon, editing it really, really quick, or not editing it at all, and turn out a product that's got a lot of usefulness and has a high quality, has a high editing ethic to it. There's no scarcity to it. People are like, well, that content is there all the time, flowing in like a waterfall. I don't care if I miss this video today because there'll be another one in 24 hours. And there is no element of that where people are like, I know this channel produces quality stuff, and when they put a video out, I want to watch it. You just don't have that. So do less and do better. Better content, better subjects, better shots, better editing, less uploads. Better thumbnails too. Better titles. Can't forget thumbnails and titles. This is not a natural inclination for a lot of people. A lot of people have nervous energy. They just feel like as soon as they take a week off, the world's going to forget about their channel. And they feel like they have to put stuff out, have to get content out every 72 hours. And I know that it's hard to fight against that urge to like, I have to. But the truth is you don't have to. So just try it. Just try to do less and try to do better. More usefulness, more trimmed down video that doesn't take as long to watch. If you have 700 videos in the last 2 years and you're just cranking out the material and you have a really low sub count, let's say you have 40,000 subscribers and you have 1,000 videos, to a lot of people that's a red flag. They see all of these videos. You go to your channel page, it shows how many videos you have and your sub count. You can tell at a glance, if you're used to looking at this kind of stuff, that that person has put a massive amount of effort in and it hasn't paid off. Why hasn't it paid off? Well, probably because all the videos, or most of them, are quick, easy, down and dirty, phoned in, I need to put content out type of videos. And it might not be worth your time to go through and sample some of the videos that they have. I feel that way. I see channels all the time where there's tons of videos and a very low sub count. And the first thing I think is, well, they're not doing a good job. They're going to waste my time. If I watch anything on this channel, it's probably going to be low value, low effort in editing, low effort in shots, phoned in, and it's a quantity channel. Don't be a quantity channel. Be a quality channel. And that doesn't even mean less work. It just means less output. It's not like you're going to save a bunch of time by putting out fewer videos if you're putting more effort into it. It's going to take you as much time to do one good video as it is to do 2 or 3 cheap, quick, low value videos. But what you want is you want to swing your channel towards quality over quantity. The best example of this that I've ever seen, probably, and I've talked about this guy before, is Primitive Technology out of Australia. The guy has 10 million subscribers and he has 50, 60 videos. Every one of those videos you watch and you're like, wow, that is something to see. He's always just building primitive stuff, built a primitive forge and made some iron out of like dirt and mud, and he built a clay house and with underfloor heating, and every one of those videos probably took a long time. And he's got all the shots and there's no fakery, there's no shortcuts. And every one of those videos are amazing. They're little masterpieces. And that's that's the standard I think everyone should swing towards. Much more quality, much less output. Because in the long run, what you want as a YouTuber is you want people in their mind to think, when I watch this channel's content, it's going to be worth it. It's going to slap. This channel delivers. That's what you want people to think when they think of your channel. Quickest way to do that, do less, do better. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Dave Whipple. See you on the next one.